From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
Hello everybody and welcome to All-Star 15 TV. On the broadcast tonight, we're all the way from the UK here at Oulton Park. Right now, qualifying underway. You see Langenberg and Boyle both putting lap times down in this 7-sector track. Right now, currently looking at Tom Corner to see how he does with putting on a lap. He goes off track just a tad. We're going to be joining him right now as he's back on pit road. Well, there's Paul Boyle. Thank you everybody for joining us here tonight. We are happy to be back, or I'm happy to be back. I've been on vacation for about a week. We went to Connecticut. It was a lot of fun, but something about broadcasting and iRacing along with the Pony Express open wheel for amateurs brings a little fun, brings a little bit of a send-off to my little vacation. As you see Paul Boyle really go hard there. 17 turn course, sitting at 2.692 miles. Actually, I'm going to bring it up for you on screen right now. There's your race info. And we are here at Oulton Park, Little Budworth, England. running the international circuit. I'm your broadcaster, AJ Capola, and as we always do, once we go green, we'll let them go around a couple laps, and I will take you on board with one of our lead drivers, pretty much to show you the park, show you all the turns. It's going to be a very fun race, but if you're new to the channel, if you're new to seeing the open wheel for amateurs, well, here's how the race will run. The first feature is 20 minutes, and then we have a quick warm-up to pretty much grab everybody else. And then we would be going into our second feature, as I'm sorry, you're seeing stuff on the screen, just trying to make everything look well for when a driver puts a time down. But we have that quick 5-minute warm-up, and then we have a 30-minute second feature to determine the overall winner of the event. Which, last time out, it was Tyler Langenberg winning both features and then coming from 10th place, or 7th place, I apologize, to win the second feature. Tonight, right now, as you see on your screen, starting on that pole position for the time being, out of all the drivers that have taken at least the 2 laps, you have Zach Purcell, Mark Dillon, and Tom Corner. Only Tyler Langenberg and Paul Boyle, like you see on your screen, have registered a time. But we're going to take a look very quickly at Mr. Tristan Lindauer. Inducer. I will get the pronunciation on that momentarily. But there he is, and I will return, because I'm going to go ask the kind people on how to pronounce that last name. So, Tristan Leducer. Again, I apologize if I get anybody's name wrong, but he's on a hot lap right now, as qualifying is finishing. Alright, here is your grid on screen. You have Tyler Langenberg starting on pole, Paul Boyle second, Sheriff Mark Dillon third, Tristan Leducer in fourth, Zach Purcell in 5th, and Tom Corner in 6th. Small field tonight, but should be very fun nonetheless. Like I said, the first feature, which we are about to start, is going to be a 20-minute shootout. They might pit, they might not. We've seen it happen multiple times where you think they can make it, but 3 or 4 of them hit pit road and actually fight all the way back to either pass the leader because they were very much saving fuel, or finish in that second or third slot. But we are gridding. We're just waiting for Sheriff Mark Dillon right now, and we are gonna get going. Want to thank everybody for tuning in to the stream tonight. Very much appreciate you all being here. Glad to see you in the chat as well. Have our channel partners in that bottom right hand corner of your screen. There is Gulf Digital Services. I apologize, Joe. Wrestling Over Everything on Facebook. It's a group page all about wrestling. And the Nerds Doing Nerd Things podcast. New episodes release audio versions every Friday. But if you're into live streams on YouTube, Every Tuesday at 7 p.m., they go live with that week's episode. Right, we should be seeing that pace car hitting pit road momentarily. Getting all the cameras lined up, ready to go. Let's count her down. Here we go. Langenberg, Boyle, Dillon, top three, followed by Leducer, Purcell, and Tom Corner. I'm gonna see that iRacing Porsche car, pace car, safety car actually, hit pit road, and we are just waiting for that green flag. There it is, as they fly off into turn one to take this 17 turn track 4A ride. Right now, everybody's single file so far. Battle looks a little bit further back between Purcell and Corner. I back that up just a tad because Leducer having an issue. That's going to bring Zach Purcell right to his side. Looks like Corner already had the jump to pit road. Gonna go back and see what happened here. He might have throttled it too hard and possibly caused himself to spin. Here we go, off the restart, off the start actually. So he's just gonna go off track, can't slow down, and ooh, slaps the wall hard. Already jumps to pit road, lap one, turn one, having an issue. All right, we're gonna take you back to the race here. Got Leducer with Zach Purcell right in front of him going through the chicane right there. But up front, looks like we're going to have a nice battle between Sheriff Mark Dillon and Paul Boyle. Couple turns left in the first lap. Remember everybody, it is a 20-minute race for feature number one. And as we've seen multiple times before, Tyler Langenberg putting a almost 3 second lead over Paul Boyle. As they go into turn number 2 and 3, that's Tyler Langenberg up front. Well, behind them, Paul Boyle, Sheriff Mark Dillon, really putting on a hard charge to try to close in on Langenberg. This is the second to last race of the season. Next week, it is the Charlotte Roval in North Carolina at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Ooh, a little squirrely there for Paul Boyle, giving up a little time to Mark Dillon. Mark's going to try to use that draft heading down to the chicane. Ooh, Paul Boyle still squirrely there. Mark Dillon right on the back bumper or back wing of Paul Boyle. We are going to jump on board with that number 3 to see how he's going to try to set up Paul Boyle, or is that number 14 going to start pulling away? Give it to you right as he crosses that start-finish line. And we are going to go silent for a lap so you can hear the sights and sounds of Oulton Park. Here you go, everybody. All right, you saw it right in front of Mark Dillon. Paul Boyle going for a ride, relinquishes second place, and now trails Tyler Langenberg by over 15 seconds. But before we go take a look at Paul Boyle's incident, it looks like Zach Purcell also had an issue. Looks like into the chicane here. Let's see, does he throttle it too hard? Exactly what it looks like he does. Doesn't hurt him too bad, but he still has to do a nice K-turn, which any driving instructor would be very proud of that. Takes out a cone. But now let's go look at Paul Boyle's incident. We're going to jump on board with that via the roll bar cam, so you could see his hands, and coming out of the turn, clips too much of that rumble strip on the left, spins it, and Mark Dillon goes right along by. I'm gonna jump back to live here where Tyler Langenberg, your leader, has a 6.5 second lead over Mark Dillon, and then Mark Dillon has a 8.5 second lead over Paul Boyle. The distance between third place and fourth place is just about 11 seconds. And Zach Purcell and Tristan Leducer both just separated by 2.5 seconds. So this is the nice battle to see here. Can Leducer gain any ground on Zach Purcell, as Purcell's actually running about 5 seconds slower than Tyler Langenberg as he's crossing the line again. As I say that, that drops down to just 2 seconds slower. Lap after lap after lap, that 51 of Purcell just getting faster and faster. Once again, thank you everybody for tuning in to the broadcast tonight. Glad you are all here. This is our second to last race of the season. We're coming to you from Little Budworth, Cheshire, England, around this 2.692 mile course. A lot of configurations, but we are using the international circuit here tonight. You're watching Zach Purcell ride around this wonderful facility as he's going through 13 to 14. And he's going to make a right-hander for 15. Getting faster and faster, like I said, every lap. A lap around here is roughly a minute 34. It looks like Mark Dillon has hit pit road. There he is. We saw this a couple weeks ago where he hit pit road. Knowing that he couldn't save enough, hits pit road early, hoping that everybody has to come in for a stop, and possibly he'll end up being the leader. But he is back out on the racetrack, looking at Leducer in front of him in that 158 F4 vehicle. You can see Purcell on the other side of the racetrack there. Let's see how Mark Dillon does it. Was looking to shoot the gap there, but right to the back wing of that 158. Alright everybody, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel to use the chat, trying to find ways to keep the unwanted bots out. But please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Glad you all are here. There goes Dillon around Leducer. Now has to really fight as I'm pulling up the gaps. There it is. You see that on the left hand of your screen, the gap between each driver or driver to the leader. Langenberg with a 15+ second lead right now. Going back to see with Mark Dillon, he was on pit road for a total time of 24 seconds. So right now, if Langenberg would have pit, he would just come out in second place and pretty much just trade spots with Paul Boyle. But we're currently watching Mark Dillon as he is closing in on Zach Purcell right in front of him. There he is, just about a 11.5 second lead as Mark Dillon puts down the fastest Sector 2 time. But up front, the 91 of Tyler Langenberg putting a whooping on the field. Mark Dillon having to pit. Paul Boyle spinning out on lap number 3. And that distance between Langenberg and Boyle is still growing at 16 seconds. Looking at just about halfway in this event. Little more than halfway, just 8.5 minutes remain. As he's hitting every apex nice and smooth. It looks like he might actually be saving just a tad. He's given up just about a half a second to Paul Boyle, as we're going to drop back to Paul Boyle right now. There he is. Ooh, 14 locks up the tires. That'll mess them up just a tad. But last lap, Paul Boyle, very much faster than Tyler Langenberg, is that number 91 of our race leader, slowing down just a tad to conserve a little bit of fuel. If he has to pit, make that pit stop as short as possible. But we will see. Right now, the only driver to pit, it is that number 3 of Sheriff Mark Dillon. As Mark Dillon has an issue, we're going to back it up so you can all see that. Going to jump on board to this as well via the roll cage or the roll bar. And here we go right into it. Let's see what happens with this number 3 Pony Express machine. Going to go into the chicane and just throttles too hard on exit, but quickly throws it in reverse and gets going. Doesn't lose a position, but he does lose all the gain he had with catching Zach Purcell. Back up to your race leader. That last lap for Paul Boyle was just 4.5 tenths faster than Tyler Langenberg, your leader. Will it be enough in the long run? Yet to be seen. But lap after lap, Langenberg's still leading this race. Going into the right-handed chicane. 2 of them to slow everybody down. Don't want them going too fast, just in case the brakes fail. But here we go. Heading towards the last couple turns with just under 6 minutes remaining. As he crosses the line for a lap time of a 1:35.09. Extremely fast lap. Now see, let's Paul Boyle crossing the line. He's going to put up still about a 10.5 faster, a 1:34.94. So still closing in just a tad. Has a lot of work to do. Unfortunately, with Mark Dillon pitting and then spinning out about 2 laps later, could be the nail in the coffin for Mark Dillon. And I think Paul Boyle spinning out earlier could have been the issue there, because right now, Paul Boyle is the fastest vehicle on the racetrack right now, but he's still sitting 15 seconds back. The thing is, Paul Boyle, and what everybody seems to do with the first feature is, if you win it, great. But use it as more of a test session. See what the car's going to do. See the fuel mileage. And we'll see some drivers, Paul Boyle, Mark Dillon, and maybe even Zach Purcell, really put a good fight to Tyler Langenberg as the fastest lap of the event by almost 3/10 goes to Mark Dillon. Very fast that last lap. As we're still watching that number 14 of Boyle, gonna jump up towards the front to see what Langenberg is gonna do. With just minutes remain, can he make it to the end of this event? He posts a fastest sector 1 time, a fastest sector 4 time, and a sector 5 time. Working on 6 and 7 now. Oh, nope. I was wrong. He just cleared sector 4. There's the 91 still on your screen, running for the last couple turns. He's going to stay out on the racetrack with just minutes remaining. 2.5 minutes to be exact. So we're looking at 2 more laps around Oulton Park for your feature number 1. Gotta thank our channel partners in the bottom right hand corner, the Nerds Doing Nerd Things podcast. New episodes every Friday, live streams every Tuesday. Gulf Digital Services, if you need paints, if you need any digital service images or of any sort, check them up on Facebook. And Wrestling Over Everything. If you're into wrestling, AEW, WWE, New Japan, Impact, Ring of Honor, check out that Facebook group as well. But right now, Tyler Langenberg kicking the tires right now off of his vehicle with a 17, almost 18 second lead. He is driving like a madman and pulling away from absolutely everybody on 4 wheels. With a couple turns left, he will be going into feature number 2 as the 6th place driver. But for feature number 1, now he's got 1 lap to solidify that, and he's got almost a 19.5 second lead. So why don't we close in on that number 91? Here we are. Hitting that white flag. There he goes off into turn number 1. Uses everything there. Ooh, little squirrely on entrance there. Use some of the rumble strip on the right. Now cresting over the hill, heading towards the left-handed turn. So far, so good for that number 91. Usually is able to keep that vehicle underneath him. Only a couple times and I can count them on both my hands, where I've seen him spin out and really hurt himself. But other than that, everything is looking great for that number 91. Ooh, really squirrely right there. Get a little throttle happy. Well, the chicanes are over with. Got this long straightaway into a right hand, and then a right hand. Blinks out momentarily. And with just 2 turns remaining, heading towards the checkered flag, Tyler Langenberg is going to win feature number 1 here at Oulton Park. Opening up that gap big time by 25 or so seconds. Coming home in second place with just turns remaining looks to be Paul Boyle. There he is crossing the line right there. Zach Purcell. With Sheriff Mark Dillon closing in like a bat out of hell. Won't get there because crossing the line for P number 3, it is Zach Purcell. Valiant effort for that number 3 in feature number 1. He'll come home 4th. And then Tristan Leducer just about a half a lap behind. Looks to possibly be out of gas, because he is very slow right now. Oh, no, he's back under power. And there he goes, up the hill towards the start-finish line. He will finish in the 5th position, and Tom Corner, having an issue on lap number 1, will finish in that 6th slot. Here are your results for feature number 1. There it is. Tyler Langenberg, Paul Boyle, 1-2. Zach Purcell sit in that 3rd position. Mark Dillon, 4th. Tristan Leducer in 5th, and Tom Corner in 6th. We have a quick warm-up, and then we will be going right into our feature number 2, which is a half hour, and we are going to invert the field for that. So we will be right back. Here is our channel partners, the Nerds Doing Nerd Things.
From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join Nerds Doing Nerd Things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
All right, with just a 30 seconds left in the warm-up, getting everybody hydrated, ready to go for feature number 2. This is a 30-minute battle. Usually see pitting right around that halfway point to the where they know they can make it. So with that being said, 12 seconds left. Who do you guys got? We are inverting the field, so if Tom Corner is still here, he will be your starter, your pole positioner, with Tristan Leducer in 2nd, Sheriff Mark Dillon in 3rd, Zachary Purcell in 4th, Paul Boyle in 5th, and last would be our feature number 1 winner, Tyler Langenberg. I'm going to show you the grid, even though I just read it to you. There it is. There's everybody. Oulton Park, open wheel for amateurs. All right. Ding, ding, ding. Following contest is scheduled for a 30-minute racing event. Well, here goes the pace car. Tom Corner did not make the event. But here we go. Through 30 minutes on the clock. And let's see, can Sheriff Mark Dillon, after having that issue in the first feature, can he get to the lead and stay in the lead? All right, here we go. Just waiting for the green flag. There it is in the air. Great launch by Leducer. Heading down towards turn 1. Sheriff Mark Dillon closing in. Gonna jump on him. He has the fastest sector 1 time on this early start. Looking to the outside or inside it. And makes the pass and then some. Alright, let's see Purcell. Can Zach Purcell make that same move? Look at this. He's setting it up. Heading towards the right-handed chicane here. Gonna get a little close. But right behind them, Paul Boyle, Tyler Langenberg, both under a blanket. Looks like that 51 of Purcell not wanting to push the issue right now. Oh, here it goes. There he goes, right along by. With just 2 corners left. Makes the pass, but has the damage been done? Purcell, 2.5 seconds back from Mark Dillon. Gonna drop further back. And it looks like Langenberg having an issue. Goes off track. Like to what I was saying before, if he's not the leader, he's known to have a couple off tracks that costs him a lot of time. Ooh, and he catches too much of the left-handed curb and grass, and he spins to the inside. Quick recovery, only losing 6 seconds. Definitely get it back. 100% can get it back. But Paul Boyle looks to have an issue. As I apologize, you hear a four-wheeler behind me. But let's see what Paul Boyle does here. Oh, he's going to loop it, lock up the tires, stay on track, and continue going. Great move. Unfortunate that it happened. Tristan Leducer having an issue. Oh, no. Our pole sitter for feature number 2 having an issue. We saw this last feature, and yet, just like what Purcell did, gonna make a nice K-turn and continue going. Well, Mark Dillon, your race leader, over Zach Purcell by almost 3.5 seconds. Got anybody in the chat? Anybody at all? Not yet. Gotta be a subscriber for a little while for that to happen. But there is the number 3 of Mark Dillon, pretty much holding the fort right now at 3.5 seconds over Zach Purcell. Awesome job by that number 3 to get the lead from Leducer and not look back. Up to 4 seconds now. Man, we're gonna jump back to Purcell because it looks like Paul Boyle is coming with a full head of steam. Gonna jump back to Paul Boyle sitting in that third position. Has Tyler Langenberg right on his back bumper. But look at this. Nose to wing, or wing to nose. But right now, Boyle is holding up that 91 of Langenberg. But they are actually catching Purcell at a very good clip as well. But still losing time. Still losing time to Mark Dillon up in first. Looking at 24 minutes remaining. And that gap that Mark Dillon has put out is sitting at just about 5.5 seconds, a little under, but still pulling away from pretty much everybody here. Thank you all for tuning into All-Star 15 TV. Every Monday night, it is an absolute pleasure to bring you the Open Wheel for Amateurs event. Next week, we go to North Carolina all the way to Charlotte Motor Speedway for the Roval event. That's going to be a lot of fun. Have yet to see any sort of open wheel car attempt that with my own eyes. So it's going to be fun. It's not a horribly difficult track. The elevation changes in the infield could cause a little bit of a problem. Oh. Wow, Paul Boyle goes way wide. And I mean way wide. Fastest lap of the event goes to race leader Mark Dillon at a 1 minute 34.35. Langenberg is looking for that run to get past the number 14. The chicanes are always a good spot to try to gain position, but all he did was close up to Boyle's back end. They're still closing in on Zach Purcell right in front of them. Going through the final couple turns. Well, they're closing in on Purcell. That lead is under 5 seconds. With Langenberg finally making that pass, we're going to see another replay of that. Here it is. Here comes a 91. Using that draft. And just powers along the outside to make that pass. But now has his sights set on Mr. Sheriff Mark Dillon. Has 10 seconds to claw back at. Here's the strategy though. When do you pit? When do you come down pit road to take those tires and fuel? Or do you just take fuel? Langenberg puts up the fastest Sector 1 time, while Sheriff Mark Dillon hits that fastest Sector 2 time. See that lead now under 10 seconds. Langenberg is really closing in on Purcell. Probably should get to Purcell within the next lap and a half, at least 2 laps. Ooh, he gets a little squirrely after hitting that curb, riding that for a little too long. Gonna back it up to TV camera 3 as they head down at the turn 1, backing it up, like I said, just a little bit. Wide angled camera. Distance between Langenberg and Purcell under 2 seconds now. And closing in just about a second now, separating Mark Dillon's lead under 9 seconds. Still running very competitive lap times, a 1:34.75 for Mark Dillon. But that last lap, Tyler Langenberg put down a 1:33.95. The fastest lap of either feature number 1 or feature number 2. Absolutely hauling the mail right now is that number 91, diving it into these corners, not caring about tire wear. Ledusser goes off the track, but here's the pass for second place. Oh, and Purcell goes way wide. He's gonna hit the wall. No, he's gonna stay off of it, but he's gonna lose second, lose third. Wow. Off the track for almost 10 seconds. We're gonna bring that back to you. Well off there. Well, back it up a little further. We're gonna jump on board via the roll bar, so you can see a little bit higher up and his hands. Here you go, everybody. I'm gonna do this in real time. We know that Langenberg is to his left side, trying to give him room, clips the grass, and just gets it right into the kitty litter. Back up on the racetrack. Another person that has an issue, or looked to have an issue, I guess they counted that as the off track. It's only off track for a second and a half. Here we go. We're gonna go back live. Langenberg puts down another fast one. It looks like when Langenberg goes fast, so does Mark Dillon. Mark Dillon puts a 1:33.90 on the board. The only 2 drivers that go into that 1:33 range. Just about half of the event over with. 16 and a half minutes remain. That lead from Langenberg, for Dillon to Langenberg, is just around 9.5 seconds. So in the last 4 laps, he's dropped that from 11 seconds to 9.5 seconds. Might not be enough time. You might have to bank on something happening to the number 3 of Dillon machine. But right now, it is all Mark Dillon. Actually, that last lap, Dillon was almost a second faster than Tyler Langenberg, but Langenberg is about to put an amazing lap down. just by seeing the gap, but there goes Mark Dillon to pit road. He's going to cut it right in half. Langenberg stays on the track, and he will put a 133.91 on the board. All right, he's got the taste of the lead. When does he come hit pit road? I would assume it would be for a shorter stop, just taking a splash of fuel. Mark Dillon on pit road for only 26.5 seconds. Paul Boyle sitting in that second slot, 4 seconds back. Purcell, 9.5 seconds back, sitting in third. Fourth goes to, right now, Mark Dillon. And Tristan Leducer sitting 34 seconds back to Tyler Langenberg. Can Langenberg sweep feature number 1 and then come right back as he spins it, loops it, losing a lot of time? Here comes Paul Boyle. Paul Boyle passes him, takes first place away as Langenberg hits the track and loses all that time. Everything can go right now out the window. Does he come to pit road to save face and use some of that as his pit stop? Let's see. He's going to stay out on the racetrack. Yes, he does. Going to try to hunt back down Paul Boyle because now he only has a 9-second lead over Mark Dillon, and it is about a 25-second swing for a pit stop. Well, he might have spun out, might have lost a lot of time, but he is looking to catch Paul Boyle very soon once again and attempt that pass. Stay tuned to after the event. We will do the top 3 podium finishers of the event. Just a second and a half separating Boyle and Langenberg. Dillon back about 11.5 seconds. Doesn't need to push, doesn't need to really hurt the vehicle, burn up those tires. He will inherit the lead no matter what, as long as he stays on track and as he stays consistent. The 3 drivers in front of him do need to pit, as we are past halfway in this feature. We are going to go take it to a crank it up. Here you go, everybody. are back. You see pit stops starting. Both Paul Boyle, Tyler Langenberg, both on pit road. Let's see how long they were on pit road. 25 seconds for Paul Boyle, 24 and a half for Tyler Langenberg. That gap from Boyle to Dylan is just about 9.5 seconds. Now, I thought the 3 pit possibly just a little early. I'm curious if he's going to need to save at all. Very curious to see if he's going to need to save. He pit at about 21 minutes remaining, and he was the only driver to pit in feature number 1. So as long as he, I think, stays on the track, if he can save a little fuel, absolutely do so. But he is sitting right now at a 9.5 second lead with just about 10 minutes remaining. I have that right? Yes, under 10 minutes. Just about 9 minutes. Roughly maybe 4 laps. Right around 4 laps, actually. As he's crossing the finish line there, he's going to take first place with Zach Purcell now on pit road. Gotta feel good for Sheriff Mark Dillon right now to put that number 3 vehicle to the lead. I know feature number 1 really didn't go his way, but he is bouncing back pretty well. Glad you all are here spending part of your Monday night with myself on All-Star 15 TV for the Pony Express Open Wheel for Amateurs. Second to last race of the season here at Oulton Park in Little Budworth, Cheshire, England. That gap between Dillon and Boyle are pretty much just around 9 seconds now. Crossing the line for lap 14. But to everybody watching, everybody playing along, tagging along, having some fun with myself, welcome. Extending his gap by almost a half a second. Pretty good this late in the race as he puts down the fastest sector too. While Paul Boyle puts down the fastest sector 7 to close out his last lap. 9.5 seconds separating Paul Boyle and Mark Dillon. Mark Dillon, though, having an issue. He is stuck. He is completely stuck, having to jump to pit road. His race is over. Holy cow. 2 weeks in a row having an issue where the vehicle gets stuck on a little bump. Gonna watch it again. Closer view. Wow. 2 weeks in an absolute row. Backs up onto a little hill, and the back tires are off the ground. His race is over. Wow. That changes absolutely everything. Paul Boyle, your race leader by a second and a half. That's gut-wrenching. Absolutely, just rip your heart out and step on it. I was looking to talk to Mark Dillon at the end of this race on how, he was able to use the first feature as a test and then come back and absolutely destroy in the second feature, but an unfortunate spin where we've seen a lot of people spin. This is the second week in a row where he spins and gets caught somewhere where the vehicle will no longer move. Just absolutely rips out your heart. But now it's all in control for Paul Boyle or Tyler Langenberg. They have a 13-second gap over Zach Purcell for third, who is safely in third. That gap is just about 45 and a half seconds between Zach Purcell and Tristan Leducer. But let's continue to watch this battle, as it's not a battle anymore. Tyler Langenberg almost beaches the machine. All right. Let's throw it on like a little far chase here and see what happens in turn number 3 and 4. Here it is. Just gonna, loses the vehicle. Keeps it on the pavement. But you see Paul Boyle absolutely disappear. It is all 14 now with just a couple minutes remaining, 3 minutes remaining to be exact. Looking at just about 2, maybe 3 laps remaining. Couple turns remaining. We will then see if we are going to have 2 laps remaining or 1 lap remaining. 2 laps remaining. 2 as they cross the line. Paul Boyle with a 7.5 second lead over Tyler Langenberg and a 20.5 second lead over Zach Purcell. 3 drivers within a minute of the leader, including your leader. Tristan Leducer, a minute 11 back. Stay tuned to after the checkered flag tonight. We will try to get you an interview with the top 3 drivers. Boyle needs to keep it on the racetrack. His lead is strong enough, but needs to keep it on the racetrack. No issues, because you can lose 6 seconds out of 7 and still win this event. You can give up some time to make sure you don't make a mistake, but coming towards the white flag here with just a couple turns left, we're going to see Barney the flagman wave that white flag. And everybody, you know what that means. Here we go. Coming out of the final 2 turns, we are going to hit the wrestling over everything white flag. White flag in the air, lead at just about 6.5 seconds. Can that number 14 of Paul Boyle keep the vehicle underneath him the whole time? The Wrestling Over Everything White Flag. Find that group on Facebook if you're into wrestling. Through the final set of chicanes. Oh, not the final set, there's one more. Right at the end of this straightaway. Opening that lead back up to Tyler Langenberg. Ooh, thought he was a little squirrely there. Oh boy. Coming out of the final 2 turns, heading towards the start-finish line. Barney has the checkered flag out in the air, and it is waving for the number 14 of Paul Boyle as he wins here at Oulton Park. Right behind him, it is the number 91 of Tyler Langenberg. Zach Purcell sitting in third, heading towards the line. There he is, crossing the line for his 3rd place. Tristan Leducer, with just about a half a lap remaining, keeps it on the track. And he will come home in the 4th position. And as he is about to cross the line there, let's see if we can get some thoughts of our top 3 drivers as they finish up and head towards victory lane or pit road. Let's talk to our race winner, Paul Boyle. It's AJ Capola in the broadcast booth. Do you have a copy, pal?
Copy.
Hey, dude. Holy cow, what a crazy ending to that second feature, where I thought myself Sheriff Mark Dillon had it, but spins out and ends up beaching the car on a little hump on the inside of the racetrack. What is your thought on how that happened, and then assuming the lead off of it?
So Mark was actually in voice comms with us all as he was racing today, and he basically said that that was a complete fluke. Like, he had the ability to stop it on the tarmac and elected to roll in an attempt to speed up his turnaround, and left himself on a curb. I cannot believe it. And what an interesting scenario for me to get my first race win in, hey?
Yeah, no kidding, pal. Well, it was a well-deserved race win, I would say, because you kept the car clean, number 1, and number 2, you still had to drive like a bat out of hell because you had Tyler Langenberg right behind you, and he was not slow by any means.
No, and he hasn't been slow all season, hence why he's the streakaway leader. And congratulations to him. He's won the series with a few races to go, and so I wish him all the best. And hopefully a race like today is a sign of things to come and ready for next year.
Well, I hope you guys do a wonderful job at the Roval next week. I'm looking forward to it because I've never seen open wheel around at that course. It's just been stock car after stock car after stock car. But, have a little fun, have a couple drinks, enjoy your feature number win, and we will talk to you at Charlotte next week.
Sincerely hope I get to see you then.
All right, see you later, pal. All right, now we are going to talk to Mr. Tyler Langenberg for his second place in feature number 2. Tyler, it's AJ Capola in the broadcast booth. Do you have a copy, pal?
Hit the wrong push to hook. Oh, I guess
There
I
you go. Now I can hear you, pal.
hello.
Hey.
Totally didn't push to talk.
That was absolutely crazy. Was very shocked to see what happened to Mark Dillon but you had a heck of a run to try to catch back up to um, Paul Boyle and just seems to have run out of time. Pretty much take us through both features after you win the first one and come home second in the second one.
Well, first race it was pretty much for me just bugger off a bit, and then once I realized I wasn't gonna make it on fuel, I started fuel saving a bit, mostly because I also had that gap that I could work with. And then second heat, the feature race was it got the track got a lot hotter and a lot slicker, and trying to follow some of them, it just got super loose on me twice. Unfortunately, I think it really did cost me the win. If even even if Mark didn't have his little off there, I don't think I would have been able to get him after I cleared Paul and Zach. So yeah,
So overall, a heck of a drive. You go to Charlotte Motor Speedway next week for the Roval event. Have you raced at all on that race course, or is this going to be your first time heading to Charlotte Motor Speedway?
I have raced on the Roval before, but it was with fenders and sports cars. So we're gonna see how we can pass someone without making contact.
Well, I can tell you it's a very tight track with fenders. It's going to be even tighter without them. So good luck
Yeah.
in the week of preparation with that. And well, stay safe. Enjoy I would say the overall win and the championship. I think you clinched that last week, or was that a this week thing?
I haven't done the point, or I didn't do the points last week, or I didn't look at them really. It was just, hey, I'm doing that, or hey, I'm in the lead now, like, or I'm still in the lead. I didn't really like look at it in depth.
Mm.
It was just more a, oh look, I'm just doing that. You know,
All right.
I'll certainly check after this race though.
All right, pal. Well, we'll talk to you at Charlotte Motor Speedway next week.
All right, thank you.
Catch you later, pal. All right, that was your second place finisher, Tyler Langenberg. Let's talk to third place. Somebody we've talked to actually a lot as of late, and I'm very happy to say that because he's always a fun interview. It is Zach Purcell. Zach Purcell, AJ Capola in the broadcast booth. Well, how'd you manage that one, pal? That seemed like a very consistent race where you kept it on the track, but you come home third tonight.
I basically just needed to be on the track. Yeah, I minimized my mistake. I made a couple mistakes, but luckily didn't lose too much time from them. I got lucky on that one where I went wide before going into the hairpin and was able to stop it in the grass. But it's a great track. I really like it. So I just needed to keep it on the track, and third place was mine, I guess.
Yeah, it's exactly what you did. Um, we're not going to talk about the first feature, but but we go to Charlotte
Yeah.
Motor Speedway next week for the Roval event. Like I asked Tyler, is this going to be your first time running it with an open wheel, or have you run it at all?
We have last season and maybe even the prior season. I don't remember that one, but definitely last season we ran the F3s, which are the old ones, so just a little bit more powerful than these. We ran it there, and it was a ton of fun. It's a great track with the open wheels, surprisingly.
Oh, nice. Oh well, I don't think I was there for that event. I don't think I started helping with the open wheel till about like 4 or 5 races left in the season, so I'm very much excited for it. I like the race course.
It's
I absolutely garbage at it, but I enjoy it.
it's great. Yeah, we did. I think it was early last season, like fourth or fifth race, something like that.
All right. Well, I have something to look forward to next Monday outside of unfortunately going to work. But
Hmm.
but Zach, good race. Way to come home third in the second feature. And we will see you in North Carolina at Charlotte Motor Speedway next week.
Thank you very much.
All right, everybody. That was the driver of the 51, Zach Purcell, coming home third in the event tonight. And for myself, I'm AJ Capola. You all have a safe, wonderful night. See you next Monday. But hey, if you want more racing, we got more racing. We got a race starting in about 25 minutes here, right on the channel, the Extreme Forces Racing League. Their race at Talladega. So stay here, stay tuned, and let's go have some fun. Peace out, everybody.
From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.